All of you are of the kindred. You are of the plains. To your south are Fey forests, and you would never ever go there. You consider the things in the Fey forest to be dangerous and magic and against you. Not exactly evil, but just mischievous and puckish and the kind of things that bring misfortune. The closer you get to these forests, the more forested the plains. Now, to the north is actually the ocean, but you have never been there because in between where you are and the ocean is this migratory path of true evil. Orcs and giants and trolls and drow and even worse things that go always from east to west across these plains near the ocean, and you avoid it. And when you are near it, you know that you are in great danger. You are of a tribe called the Kimri, and there are all kinds of different tribes of kindred. And some of them are friendly to you, some of them you don't like, some of them are rivals, some the customs are quite different. There is something called an all-clan meeting in early spring. And the reason why it's in early spring is because the enemy would have to travel through the winter to get to you. All right, so it's a relatively peaceful time, even during the worst of times. And that's when all the clans get together. And sometimes your clan makes it, and sometimes they don't, but it's always a treat when you do, because you get to trade with other clans and discover things and, get wives and all that sort of thing. The two clans that are closest to you are the Krikar and the Swevi. The Krikar you do not like, and they do not like you. Now, the Swevi are friendly. They're kind of neutral, we'll say. So they're not your allies. But if you came across the Swevi, there would be probably no problems. If you came across the Krikar, well, the younger warriors, the more brash warriors, would try to make a problem. You are a fast people. You have to be a fast people. It's the only way that you've survived. You are always in the saddle, and if you had ponies, you probably would have died already. You have small horses that are very quick and very sturdy. You don't have teepees because that would be too much to pack and too slow. Instead, you have yurts. Every single thing you can carry is pack. What that means is it can go on a horse without dragging on the ground. Mm-hmm. Everything that you own, everything that you are is fast and can be on horseback. You know the land. Not necessarily all of it, but for hundreds of miles in each direction, you are very familiar with the land. You can count on that knowledge and bring it up with me anytime that it comes up, because this is your home. You have never sat still. You always move. From the time that you were born, you have moved throughout this area, and you know it quite well. You are an honorable people. You are strong warrior people. No one in your clan need fear anything being stolen from them or their people being treated poorly by anyone in their clan. In fact, when you are together with your clan, there is a brotherhood in a community that people like us couldn't even understand. You can count on each other through thick or thin, through death or life. And you would never be dishonorable or betray anyone in your clan. Outside of your clan, you consider the kindred your people, even if they're different clans. So amongst the kindred, if there is conflict, it's usually settled by people fighting hand to hand with leather straps wrapped around their hands. All right? And so people don't usually die in those conflicts, but you can get grievously hurt and knocked out, and it can go to the ground, and you are absolutely adept at hand-to-hand fighting. And that's a skill that you guys can all put on your paper. Okay? So you have been hand-to-hand fighting since the time you were born, because it's how disputes are settled between men who have a problem with each other. But the truth is that if you fought someone and they were hurting on the ground, you would never kick them when they were down. There's a sense of honor between your peoples, but you're a tough warrior people. Okay, so the terrain that your particular clan is in is like the beautiful parts of Wyoming, Montana, and South Dakota. Rolling hills grassland with copses of trees and occasional mountains well, not really mountains. It's almost like foothills. The mountains are far, far, far to the west and to the east, but it's like rolling hills, gorgeous grasslands, streams. The winters are harsh, the summers are hot. There's seasons, but you live in paradise. You honestly live in paradise. It's beautiful. You have a deep connection to the land, and that is why you worship the gods that you worship. You are very musical people, and there's always singing and music. You speak Westron Common, and then put in parentheses Kindred. Now what that means is long ago, your people spoke Westron Common, but they've been separated from everyone, and you've gone your own way. So if you spoke to someone that spoke Westron Common, it would be rough, but you would probably understand them. But the truth is that you've never met any other good guys besides Kindred. To the north is this migration corridor of evil. To the south is Fae. And the mountains to either side, well, one side is evil, one side is desolation. All right, so you're almost like an island, which has led to your general lack of technology, that and the speed by which you move. All of you have a bow, and this is a self bow. It's a 65-pound self bow. That's basically a good hunting bow. It's not a war bow. So I want you to keep in mind that if you're firing at guys with chainmail and stuff like that, it's going to be epic fail. Also, you have knives. You also have deer skin, and deer skin is +1 armor everywhere but your head. Robert, I want you to roll 20 sided.
11.
You are primarily defined by your mother. Your mother comes from a clan that was completely wiped out, and the elders of your clan say that her clan was wiped out through something magical and evil that came from the evil to the north. But for some reason, it did not affect your mother at all, and she's completely convinced it was this necklace that she has passed along to you. Now, she originally wanted to give it to your sister, but your sister said it should go to you, and she didn't know why, but she insisted upon it, and you wear it. And when you were younger, you did get flack for that, and you've engaged in some fights. In fact, roll 20 sided.
All right. 17.
You can put +1 to your skill in hand-to-hand. Not too many people fought you because you are a fairly formidable character, but you do wear your mother's necklace around your neck, and she eventually died of natural causes.
And it doesn't help either that I'm kind of small in stature, about 5'6", 160 pounds.
You are 5'6", 160 pounds, and nobody messes with you. Your sister is Misha, and there's really no word for what she does, but we would call her an herbalist. And what she is a world-class expert at every plant that you have come across and what they can do for people, and how if they're mixed together, it does one thing. She's an excellent healer. She can stitch wounds. She can do things that are absolutely invaluable to warriors. She can make it so that a wound that you almost guarantee would kill you just by infection does not get infected. She's absolutely priceless, and she is also beautiful. Now, the thing is that she is actually taller than you, and she's gorgeous, and she's skilled, and she's smart. So most of the clan is kind of intimidated by her, and she's actually very lonely, which has drawn you both closer, and she's, not married. And so you both are fairly tight. She is a prize. You are a world-class expert at the bow. Roll 20.
11.
Okay, I want you to put +2 with the bow. You have the necklace around your neck. Now, one other thing about this necklace, it is metal, which is almost unknown. I won't say it's unknown, but it's extraordinarily valuable. There's metal all over the place, but it's usually underground, like you have to dig for it like an archaeologist, because there's been battles and there's settlements, but they're ancient. Okay, so you're almost like post-apocalyptic people.
Right.
You're living in the ruins of what used to be civilization. So occasionally you do find stuff, and it's like of the ancients. So this necklace is of the ancients, and it's inlaid with gems.
Okay.
All right. So it is highly esteemed amongst your people. But again, your people are who they are, so it's not like you can go to the all clan meeting and sell it for 1,000 gold pieces. There's your people don't have gold pieces, right?
And
you could probably
I noticed that I've been getting some weird looks just simply by having anything made out of metal.
Yes.
Because my sister doesn't have anything made out of metal, and as far as I know, metal is very rare.
Fate. That is absolutely correct. And you could trade it if you were a more mercenary man for sheep, goats, cattle, but they are a wilder version of all three that are fast. Like if you were to look at the cattle, sheep, and goats of today, you would say there's absolutely no way that my people could use these animals because they're just too slow. Okay, so your cattle, sheep, and goats are very fast, all right, and very fit, very wild, all right. But you guys being who you are, you easily corral them. You easily get them to go where you guys need them to go without even thinking about it. Let's talk about your bows. All of your arrows are flint, okay? Your knife is flint, and the hilt is just wrapped in leather. If you want a horn knife, you can have a horn knife as well. Both the stone and horn have their advantages and disadvantages. Okay, if you wish a horn hilt, that's well within the capability of your people, and you can put a fate on your paper. And you don't have a saddle. It's just your ability to communicate with your horse with your legs and your natural sort of like subtle magic that your people have. And you have not been demagicked, so you are essentially a magical people.
Okay.
All right. So if I tell you have a special skill in something, there is like a little bit of spice to it. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Leg is spicy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dave, roll 20-sided.
8.
You don't have too much family, and that perhaps led to you being someone who is shepherding the herd, leading to you being the one who takes care of the horses, shaves their hoofs, all that sort of thing. You've always been drawn to animals, and your ability and skill with animals has grown exponentially past anyone else in the clan. I want you to put on your paper animal empathy. This is not a normal skill. Animal empathy is like a magical skill. It's something that like an elf or a dwarf would have. You don't think of it as magic. You don't think of it as special. It's just something that you do, an ability that you have. But you can you can sense what animals are thinking and feeling. But they're animals, so they're not communicating with you effectively. You have a dog, which you can name, which is just a wild dog about yay high. And the dog is would die for you. And you can give this dog simple commands, like the kind of commands that you would give a child, and it would fulfill it. And just with like a hit, hit, and then all of a sudden the dog does what you want, and people are astounded at your skill with animals. But not only do you have this dog, you have a hawk. You actually found an egg that had dropped out of a tree, and you sensed the animal within the egg, and you were like its mother. You kept it inside your deer skin. You kept it warm. It hatched. It was like you are its mom and its dad. Okay, you know what this hawk is feeling and thinking, but it's not a human being.
Can I see what the hawk is seeing?
No, not yet. Now you have another skill that goes along with this animal empathy, and especially with your hawk. You are a tracker. And you are, all of you can put tracking level 1 on your paper, but I want you to put tracking level 1 and roll 4-sided for tracking and add it to, so you're 4-sided plus 1.
3.
Okay, so you're level 4 in tracking, which is considerable at level 1. Okay. Now keep in mind that you have all these animals, so not only are you tracking, but your dog is by your side going. So you're, human, not our tribe. You understand what I'm saying? Because you can kind of sense what the dog is smelling.
Yeah.
But then you have the hawk, so you're like, oh, tracks ahead at half a mile.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, level 4 tracker on your own, but you got a lot of help. Okay? There is also you. Roll 20 sided. Juana.
13.
Your uncle is like the medicine man to the clan, although he is ancient. Ancient. And your uncle, wherever he goes, gets looks because he is old. And the truth is, people like you don't live to be 70. And he is 70. His name is Galif. Galif goes into the sweat lodge and he comes out and he has spoken with the spirits. Galif can be on horseback and the winds speak to him. And you are that person as well. It is just understood that you will take his place. There are things that he does that no medicine man has ever done. It is said that before you were born, he was seen to throw lightning. That is not normal for any medicine man.
Yeah.
But you've never seen him do it. None of you have. It's only just a legend of the clan.
I will have asked him if he did it.
Yeah. And Galif is interesting because he just has that old man thing where you ask him about something.
Is it true?
And he's just, oh, the women talk. The women talk. They have many tasks to do. They clean and they cook and they talk. And he wanders off as he mutters. And you're like, but Galif, is it true?
Yeah.
There are many things that people have to do, and we either sing tales, we sing of legends, and we speak amongst ourselves, and rumors, myths and legends, rumors, myths and legends. Then he walks off again, you go, but Galif, is it true? And you've never gotten anything out of him. In fact, the only thing that you've really gotten out of him is when he says, Juana, come with me. And all of a sudden you find yourself walking towards the sweat yurt, and you're like, what is he going to teach me? And he does. He sits you down. He throws water over the hot stones. He begins to chant these songs that are in a dialect that you barely understand.
I pay close attention.
As a matter of fact, I want you to roll 20 sided.
3.
You wish you were better with languages. In fact, I want you to put -1 linguistics. You, as a player, I can tell you this. Your character has no idea, but he is actually chanting in Aurelian. At some point, the Kindred were actually a forsworn people to Aurelians. All right?
Right.
They have since lost contact with that. I mean, for a long time. But
so this
legends
passed down for generations.
Passed down from generation to generation amongst the medicine men. And you are rueful because you only know a smattering. But you know by heart the chants.
But there are other languages, whatever. But this one, I will try twice as hard, 3 times as hard to get this down. Yeah, I know I'm bad at it, but I work extra to make sure to get you.
Fate. I want you to put the following skills on your paper. Wind Talker. Level 1. There are manifestations of the 4 winds, and they are gods. And you have the ability to speak subtly to these gods through the wind. Level 1, all right?
Do
Now,
the winds ever talk on their own? Do I ever hear messages come through on the windows goes by?
sometimes, but it's very subtle. Like you have just a feeling, don't go this way. You have a feeling, go that way. You know, and it fills you with joy, and maybe even with awe when things of that nature happen.
Absolutely, for sure.
Also, you can create situations, and you will have to do this as a player, where you speak to the winds, things that you've been taught, ways to bring the winds closer to you. Okay. You are also a spirit talker, level 1. And this is when you go into the sweat lodge and you take special herbs and you try to communicate with the other worlds. And it's very strange, but you have discovered that there are other worlds that exist in the same exact place as our world. And it's an odd concept to even understand.
Yeah.
You sense that there are many, but you've only touched 2. And you call those 2 worlds the half world and the pure world. The half world is like birds fly through the air, and everything they do is faster. They have a better viewpoint on it, but it's ultimately connected to our world. And it's like that, except other creatures besides birds move in it. And some of them are evil, some of them are good, some of them are fey and mischievous, some of them are helpful, some of them are of the dead, but not very many, and they're usually confused or spiteful and resentful. Sometimes they tell the truth, sometimes they tell lies.
So sort of in between our world and the next afterlife, kind of in between those.
Yeah, exactly. Now the pure world has none of that confusion. The pure world is almost like you are seeing the real world as a drawing on level. Like you can see everything all at once, and even time is like how we move in time. In the pure world, time is a painting. And the pure world is a place of the gods, but it's not heaven. It's almost like how the gods travel between heaven and our world. And you sense that our world came about because of the start of our world started in the pure world. That magics within the pure world created our world. Place of creation, and with a godlike view of everything. And the pure world is far, far, far harder to get to. There are different schools of magic, okay? You have 3. So I want you to put that on your paper under skills, and eventually you're going to have a different character sheet, which is only magic. But right now you're so low level, we can handle it this way. Okay, the first is Sibelian. Sibelian is like ESP, telepathy, telekinesis, all that kind of stuff. The mind abilities. Okay, so you're like, you are level 1 in Sibelian. Okay, that's really impressive. So you're on the verge of true mind abilities. Okay, now it doesn't mean, so you have the ability to do it, but it's just practice makes perfect. But you are, I'll tell you, you're handicapped because all of this requires training, wisdom, schools. You have to reinvent the wheel on all of this because you're kindred.
Right.
So all this is going to be much harder to come by because you don't even know what you can do with this ability. You don't even know what this ability is. Yeah. Okay, so if you were in Andrad, you would be at the Mage Tower and people would be like trying to help you explore these abilities, okay? And it'd be much easier, but you're not.
Teach ways to meditate, things, things.
Right. Yeah. Concordos. Concordos is priestly power. You're level 1. Okay? Priestly power is the ability to actually call for and receive the power of the gods. Okay? And you have to be very connected spiritually to even have that power. And I want you to keep that in mind. That's a hallmark of your character. Okay, you are extraordinarily spiritual. You are aware of deities. You are aware of entities. The next is Etherion. Etherion. That is what we call astral magic. Astral magic is like the foundational building blocks of the material world.
So it's very closely tied to the pure world.
It is exactly tied to the pure world. Okay? So Etherion is probably one of the more powerful schools of magic. Like if you're high level in Etherion, you would be able to travel through the pure world. You would be able to disintegrate an enemy because you would unravel his material existence.
It's tied to creation. Could you actually create things with it?
At super high level, okay? So, but the thing is that, like I said, you're a human being, you're a kindred. Your character will probably never, ever be able to do that, okay? But you are level 1. You are an extraordinarily special person, okay? You just don't even quite realize it yet. Okay, you are all traveling. You are actually not with your clan. Your clan is a long way away. So who you are traveling with is important. The first is Bursa, fights with a knife and tomahawk, both of which are metal, which is one of those astounding things. And he wears bone armor, primitive, not everywhere, but he is the one who likes to mix it up. He is a fairly deadly, fell character, and he's very quiet and can be counted on, but he rarely speaks. Nisha, Shavath's sister. There is Unan, and Unan is the tallest and the most muscular of all of you. He actually has the best sense of humor as well, and he gets along with everyone, and his thing is hand to hand. He has sparred and fought with all of you, and the good thing about Unan is he will never hurt you. He doesn't punch people in the face. He fights like this, and he may just go like that to your nose and say, "Oh, if that was a fist, I would have got you." Okay, but you try to punch him, it's impossible. He'll usually just go like this a couple times and annoy you, and then take you down to the ground and then put you in a hold. And you're like, okay, my elbow feels like it's breaking, and then he'll just let go of it because he knows that you feel like your elbow's breaking. He says, "Oh, I got you, I had you." And so all of you actually enjoy sparring with Unan because he always teaches you things and he never hurts you.
Yeah.
He's so good that he can do that. Okay, that's the true hallmark of someone who's a real badass, is that they can take you out without really hurting you at will, okay?
I spent a lot of time with my uncle in the Sweat Lodge. My hand-to-hand was neglected. So I would actually ask him not just for sparring, but actual training. I want to learn from him so I can get better.
Fate, roll 20-sided.
10.
You have Roy and Russ, and they're twins. Actually, Roy and Russ they're your nephews, Dave.
Okay.
They're one of your few relatives left, and they use spears, and they use wood and hide shields, and they're fairly young. They're like 15, and they're always constantly bickering amongst each other, but they're nice to everyone else. And then there's Aintor. And Aintor is older. He's like 35. He is a bowman, and he is fell. Several things have happened that has led to you being in the middle of nowhere away from your clan.
Mm-hmm.
It all started with an earthquake, which is always usually considered to be a bad omen. And this has unsettled everyone in the clan.
How bad was the earthquake?
Some horses fell. No great injuries to any of the horses. It was at night, but a yurt went down. No one was injured. You guys patched up your animals and went your way, deeply unsettled. And it's one of those things where just nobody talks the next day. Maybe somebody tries a song, but nobody sings along with them. You're just worried about it and thinking about it. Even Galif, it was kind of...
Do we have any myths about why this might be a bad omen?
Go up together.
It is a warning. It is a warning of the gods to the kindred that something's afoot. That something is afoot. It's like the gods telling you beat the course. Kind of.
Go up together. Should be giving us what lunch. Can we find out why?
I will go on. Fate. And that is what happens the next night. And that the Sweat Lodge is set up, but because Galif goes in alone, everyone else draws back. In fact, there is a ceremony for this. You all know various ceremonies. Your life is dominated by them, by the seasons, by the ceremonies, by traditions. And the tradition is for the whole tribe to withdraw in a circle around the Sweat Lodge, far out of earshot. And there are special songs that you sing to help Galif in the Sweat Lodge.
Being the apprentice, I'll still be far enough back not to hear, but I'll be in between.
It's actually unusual for you being at the point where you are, for him to say, really, in fact, it takes you back. He hasn't been alone in that Sweat Lodge for months and months. So you are actually kind of heartbroken a little bit, but you step forward and you sing louder than all, because you know that probably you don't know why he went in there alone, and your song could help. Fate.
I think maybe it's because this is something that's unsafe. And he didn't take that risk by himself.
Fate.
Do they rely on any herbs or medicine, mind-altering substances when they do any of the rituals?
Yes, and your sister is a part of that. So she's totally absent from everyone before this happens because she's getting everything ready. But then she draws back with you as you sing, and there are certain dances, ceremonial dances, so it's more like a march. And so there's always people marching, and then when they tire, others march, and then others sing. And this happens for hours and hours and hours, and you realize that probably it's too much time. It's too much time for him being as old as he is, and for the Sweat Lodge to be as rigorous as it is. Too much time has passed.
I stop and listen as he's chanting inside.
Roll 27.
8.
From where you are, you hear nothing. Actually, you two roll 27 as well.
How long does it usually take?
14.
What is the proper amount of time? Half an hour, 10 minutes, an hour, 2 hours?
It's not hours, not for Galif. He's an old man. The Sweat Lodge is it's like being in the steam room. So
I give it 5 more minutes because this could be something that takes longer than normal. I don't know. This is unusual.
it is the longest 5 minutes of your life. Roll 27.
4.
You hear nothing. In fact, he quiets everyone.
I approach
And you see him approach.
the door.
You hear nothing. You hear nothing. You hear nothing. You get to the door and hear nothing. Not the sound of chanting, not the sound of water going on the stones. You hear nothing. In fact, less steam is coming out than should.
Can I feel any kind of spiritual presence inside there?
Fate, roll 27.
I was singing.
16.
I sort of trail off and stop singing. Just kind of
That's not what I want to go.
uneasy.
Your sister turns to you with a dire look on her face, turns back to the Sweat Lodge and stands. She doesn't move forward, but she stands. And when she does, you see a couple other of the women stand as well, mostly the older ones. What'd you roll?
16.
You open the door to the Sweat Lodge. There are only coals and hot stones. It's very dim, but you see the outline of Galif on the floor. He actually looks like he's sleeping.
I'm moving quickly. I check him.
Roll 20.
I noticed my wild dog Koo is not
9.
comfortable. He's moving around the campsite. He's kind of uneasy.
Roll 27.
10.
Put down a check for animal empathy. You know that no one has died,
Mm-hmm.
but you think someone is hurt.
Okay.
I check him.
You check him. He has a very weak pulse. He's sweated out. He looks.
I get him out, check in liquids.
I see. Yeah.
I call it
Roy and Roos.
Nisha.
Yeah.
Come.
You
Get
see
water.
him come out holding Galif, who is just soaked in water and unconscious.
Yeah.
And Nisha screams. Other people scream.
I rush over to Nisha's side.
Yeah. I told Roy and Roos to get water.
They run. You guys actually bring Galif back to. Well, everybody roll 20 side. Let's see if we can get. Let's see what they got.
5.
12.
16.
All right, Galif within 5 minutes kind of perks up, and he's old and he was in the Sweat Lodge too much.
Thank the gods.
And Galif is he pats everyone. He's like, "Oh, thank you. Thank you so. This water is so cold and nice. Thank you. Oh, this cup. Tarina, did you make this cup?" And Tarina's like, Are you all right? Well, yeah, I'm fine. We will have a meeting in the morning, and I will tell everyone everything that I have seen. We'll have a meeting in the morning.
I know him well. Is there any worry behind his tone of words?
Galif, you just died.
Roll 20. No!
8.
14.
And he looks at you piercingly, like you see different eyes, and it kind of takes you aback a little bit.
Yeah.
And he says, "No, every man knows when he is dead." and you're kind of like, you almost feel like looking away, and then he turns and he's back to Galuf, but those words kind of, I mean, they embed in you.
I've got this like puzzled look on my face, and I lean in and whisper so only Nisha hears, I think he's getting a little too old for this.
Nisha has tears in her eyes, and she says, why did he come in alone? I mean, Quana is ready.
Yeah, told him not to go.
Why did he do this? I don't understand. Fate. And actually, Galuf, he puts a hand on you. He says, tomorrow morning, when everyone breaks their fast, I will speak of this. No one worry. And he goes over to a little 4-year-old who's crying, a little girl, and he kind of holds the girl, and she holds him. Oh no, there's no time for tears. Oh no. And all of you go to bed, and it's just like, this almost traumatized the village, but you do go to bed and you do wake up in the morning, and everybody roll 20.
16.
18.
6.
Okay. You all wake up, and actually, you see Galuf is already up when everything starts to move around, and you catch his eye, and Galuf nods at you fondly, and which warms your heart. But then you very quickly remember what happened the night before.
Can we go back in time just a moment since we slept? I wanted to have a small conversation with Nisha.
Sure.
I wanted to ask her, what did you give him? Because she's my sister, I assume she keeps her supplies in the house.
You asked me something else, don't you? You asked me if it was different. Yes? And you don't really know what she's talking about, but it is always the same. It is like the songs and dances. It is part of ceremony. There is nothing different. He spent too much time. He was searching for something that eluded him, perhaps he found it too late. I do not know. He says he will speak of this in the morning. And she looks concerned, but you get the impression that when it comes to whatever she did, there was no difference. And perhaps she's right, perhaps she wasn't, she's not, but it was not what she gave to this that affected it. Fate.
So as she goes to bed, I'm just a little skeptical this time, but I want us maybe roll for it, but find her stash and pocket some of the herbs that he takes for the ceremony.
I can't sleep. I sleep in the same tent as my uncle, and I carried him out. If it were to be that recovered in 5 minutes, seems very unusual. So I'm going to watch over him overnight to make sure that he's safe.
Fate, roll 27.
Are we back at night, or are we? We're
If you wish to be.
I got a 5 on the die.
All right.
Do you have anything that might help that?
You could have played something before you rolled.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay. You are very quietly going through and constantly looking over at your sister. And the third time you look over at her, she's looking at you. And she slowly gets out of bed and comes over to you. And she takes it out of your hand and she puts it back. And she touches your face and she says, "This is not you.
I just want to understand that
None
it's
of
not
this
in
is
place to meddle with the affairs of the Sweat Lodge.
There may be another that I can teach, but this is not you. Go to bed." In fact, she actually whips up a concoction for you. And you've had them before and it puts you right to bed. And she gives it to you and you just out.
Okay.
You're knocked out.
You are wise beyond your years, sister. Thank you. For
And as
putting
you-
my mind at rest.
And as you lie in bed, she kind of pats you on the shoulder and she gets back in bed and you are out.
I was woken up at night by a dream, and I obviously having my planes lore skill, I feel like there's something there that that pertains to that about the event, about the earthquake.
Roll 20-sided.
1.
Yes, so that's your only story reroll.
Yeah. 3. Something better than 1.
The only thing you can think of, and it actually makes your heart pound, is that you're close to your burial ground.
Oh, okay.
And that worries you.
Our tribe or just the kindred in general?
Well, any kindred could use it, and you would never disturb their dead, but the truth is it is yours.
Okay, so we're very close to our family.
And that worries you. And you suddenly realize that there is a triangle, and you can't even get it out of your head, that between the burial ground, the earthquake, and Galuf, there's something going on. And you get no sleep. But in the morning, you are all there, and you do the various things of the tribe, and you know that everybody doesn't want to do it. They don't want to put wood on the fire. They don't want to make food. They don't want to do anything. They just want to hear what Galuf has to say. And fairly soon, everyone is around a fire that has been built in between all of the yurts, and that's where actually Galuf was sitting.
Nothing unusual in the night.
Nothing unusual in the night. He sleeps. Actually, he sleeps completely soundly. But you're not even worried about it because he doesn't sleep like he's weakened. He just sleeps like he's having good sleep. And in the morning, he has already woken up, which is unusual.
Everyone's out there except for me because I'm having the best dream of my life. Whatever Nisha gave me to go to sleep, I am out.
Fate.
When I wake up, I tell my hawk Sporcel to go out when I'm checking stuff out nearby and just kind of go out on a recon flight.
Fate roll 20-sided.
13.
None of you are surprised to see Sporcel take off and begin circling. This is a very good thing because wherever that hawk is, you will never be taken by surprise. And you know that your hawk everything is all clear. You're not spoken to in that way, but your hawk quickly goes from trying to sense danger to quickly trying to sense breakfast. And you know that all is good, all is safe. All of you are now awake and in a big circle, and Galuf is in that circle, let's just say the head of it. And he has his cane. He's just sort of making images in the mud. And actually all the little kids come and they cluster around him because he's drawing stuff that little kids would draw. Like just stick figures and yurts and all that sort of thing. Oh, that's you.
Just in the dirt.
Yeah, in the dirt around the fire. And he's just, and all the kids, that's you, that's not me, I'm that one. No, you're this one. And then he erases it and he says, I'll draw better. But he waits until everyone is there and he just scans. He realizes that everyone's there, and then he begins to speak. He says, Kimri.
So as he starts to speak, I kind of stumble out and shamefully hide my face and join the circle.
Actually, what he does is not unusual for your people either. Fate. You know who shares his yurt? Galuf turns to Quana and he says, Kimri, this is your new me. And the whale goes in.
Uncle, what is the meaning of this?
He holds up a hand and he tries to get everybody to stop wailing. He says, no, Kimri, listen. This is your new medicine man. Whatever I have done, he will now do. He is the one. But Nisha actually stands up and she says, Galuf, but why? You are here. You are amongst us. We have not buried you. You are one of us.
That's the usual way.
And Galuf says, I have sensed the time where I will go to wind. And another whale goes up. So Kimri, in a few short days, in fact, the very time it will take me to travel to the burial ground, I will go to wind. I will go to wind but hours after I lay my head on a platform of the dead. And all, you guys don't bury dead, you put them on platforms so that the wind can take their spirits, right? I will travel to our burial ground and I will lay my head on a platform, and within hours I will be taken by the wind. I have only enough time to travel. You will go with me. You will go with me. You will go with me. And actually, he says that to everyone that I introduced you to in the very beginning. except for the twins and the bowman. The twins and the bowman actually caught up with you after you already left. They caught up with you and told you that as the clan moved out and you guys moved towards the burial grounds, a young child was lost. And they say the clan, you guys know you're so good at this and you know this land so well that when the clan moves out and you go to the burial ground, you know, even if it's weeks, you know where your clan's going to be. Okay, that's just who you are.
Mm-hmm.
You've traveled these lands so many times over the years. So the twins and the bowmen catch up with you guys just to tell you that a 4-year-old escaped and no one has found him. And the clan is looking everywhere. And so not to panic if you can't catch up with the clan because this has come up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so they might be late, they might be early, they may not show up at all, but just don't panic.
So I've got... I'm kind of embarrassed by this question I need to ask.
Yeah.
But if we're traveling to the burial ground, then as customary, we take the body on a special horse, adorned horse, right? And he's well enough possibly to ride, so I kind of want to ask him what horse he wants.
Well, you would tie the dead into their saddle, and you guys don't use saddles, but you would tie the dead to the horse.
Mm-hmm.
So, actually, when you bring that up, you get into kind of like a soft argument with him. No, I don't need to be tied to the horse. And you're like, but this is customary. He says,
this is the way of our people.
I will wear honorary ties. So what you do is you actually tie the leather straps to his hands and his ankles, but just let them drag. Okay? But he is adorned like the dead. And as a matter of fact, you actually put a blindfold over him, which is what you would do. Mm-hmm. And he just has one little thing flipped up. But it is actually comedic.
Yeah, I scuttle off to go prepare the horse and grab the tailings.
Right. This live man has just declared himself dead, and he's going to the burial ground. So you're giving him all the things that he needs. And it's just like, what are we doing? What on earth is? But he is Galuf, and if Galuf says he is to die, then he is to die. So actually, you're sad, but there's like a part of you that's like, this is absurd.
Yeah, I come back after a few minutes. I've got the horse in tow, and I motion to Nisha to start dressing him.
Nisha has that look on her face like, this is absurd, but also this is a great tragedy, and she's just like, Galuf, do we have to do? Oh yes, the form must be observed, and he puts on the special beads and the special thing, and just he adorns himself as the dead. He says, "You must help me into the saddle," and so he chants a song as you guys lift him into the saddle, and he says, "I am dead, and I've gone to wind, and now you take me to the burial grounds." And a little kid nearby says, "If you are dead, why are you talking?" He says,
I was just going to say, you talk a lot for a dead man, and then clap him on the back.
He says, the dead do speak. I would know of this. I am the medicine man. He would know of this. I just speak in my body for a few scant days more. The kid says, you'll be back. And kid jumps off and says, probably not. Let us go. And it has been days, and on you guys talk.
While we're traveling, I asked my uncle if he learned anything else really worth it at all, other than that he's going to die.
Roll 20.
7.
The world has been rent, as if by a knife. The gods wish this wound healed. You can hear their plaintive cries. Is not natural, is not good.
Where is this wound?
There is physical evidence of the wound. The wound cannot be healed there. Other than that, I know not. And he kind of pats you on the back and says, I'm hungry.
Go get him some food.
You go get him some food.
And water.
Fate. And
also, my hawk comes back from his mission with a little field mouse in his mouth. But then we're looking for this missing kid, and so I can send some kind of message that I need him to go back out after he eats. to see if we can find where this child went or any trace of him. And also, I've got my tracking skills, so I'm already starting to pick up a sense of like where this kid might be.
Okay, so you're actually been out for 3 days before you're caught up and informed of this, but you, as your hawk is with you, you just begin to think of who you know this child. You saw him after scant minutes after he was born. You've seen him grow up. You know what he looks like. And the hawk does too. And so it's like, you both know everything of this child. And hawks actually have better eyesight than humans do. So this hawk actually knows what this child looks like at a distance better than anyone. And so you just say, him. And the hawk flies off. And the hawk flies off towards where the child was lost, which is in the opposite direction of where you were going. And it is gone. And a part of you feels that loss keenly. And you realize that you must be perhaps even more alert than you were before without the hawk. You feel naked without him, even though you guys are who you are. But you are traveling kind of in a bunch over these gently rolling hills and copses of trees. So there's good visibility, but the truth is, if somebody wanted to hide, it would be easy to hide. But the thing is that they would have to see you before you saw them.
Which direction are we traveling?
And you are traveling due north. Okay, so due north is
bad stuff is.
Yeah, that's where the bad stuff is. So, but south is bad stuff, east is bad stuff, west is bad stuff. It's just what bad stuff do you wish to travel into? The twins are bickering. Nisha is sad. You guys are on your way, and it is actually
Galf is dead.
Galf is dead and talking and very hungry. Fate and roll 20-sided one more time.
10.
Put down a check for animal empathy. The hawk returns, and you can just tell by the feeling of the hawk that this child is not where he's supposed to be, and that's a very bad thing, because it means that something unusual has happened. Because a little 4-year-old on foot, the truth is that adults on foot could catch up to that kid.
His name is Ro, by the way. We're gonna call him Ro.
The kid?
Ro, yeah.
All of the misses.
The grass is not tall. It's springtime, but so let's say that in places it's halfway up your shins, in other places it's halfway up your thigh.
Just the grass? Okay.
But you guys are on horseback, so it's not really an obstacle to.
Is
No,
it
but if
is
the
it
child
lush or is it
child
dry?
is fallen.
Will it burn?
Yeah.
The grass will burn.
Well, you guys are. The grass is verdantly green.
Oh,
Everything is just verdant green.
so we're in spring?
Yeah, you're like in late spring.
I grew up in grass like that, and if a depression in the grass, you don't see it till you're right on top of it. You can walk by 3 feet away and you don't see it.
So if the child
Has fallen.
has fallen as unconscious, it would be hard to find the child.
Very.
If it was in that,
And
if it was in deep
We've
grass.
got eyes in the sky. We've got
But again-
sparkle.
Would the child move in that grass? But the hawk can very easily see the child, and the hawk has returned and said, no. So that's concerning. It means that something out of the ordinary has happened to the child, which is not, I mean, all of you kind of, what next? The earthquake, Galif, the child, something is afoot.
The child could not get out of sight of where that hawk had gone one night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Not in
there's
that
no, there's
terrain.
no.
It's 4-year-olds do not move quickly. They do not move efficiently,
Especially at night.
and the child did not take a horse.
Were there any small ravines in the area?
Where the child was lost?
In the area around the river.
Not you think of this, and then you realize that if there was, they would have been the first place.
Any bodies of water, any streams?
There are streams everywhere.
Okay.
No rivers close to where the child was lost.
Okay.
The twins and the bowmen who have informed you that the child is lost, in their mind, they are with you to continue the journey with Galif, which is important as well. Remember, you have a whole clan looking for this kid,
Oh, right.
and you guys
Of us.
you guys are days away from where that even happened.
And,
So for you to return would be sort of pointless.
okay.
The people of your clan are very competent. They're just like you guys. Well, not exactly, but they have their own skills and abilities, and they have been in the saddle forever, and they know this land just like you do. Everybody roll 20-sided.
10.
7.
15.
You can put a check in any of your unusual skills. Galif, he really tries to pass along what he needs to, and it's shotgun. So it's not, you just wish that you had another 5 years with him to get all of it. But he's like, no, that's not the chant. The chant is this. Da, 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 da. And you're like, what does it mean? What does it mean? He says, okay, well, this word means this, and this word means this. In fact, you can put on your sheet Aurelian, level 1. And you wish you had the ability, but what you do have is the will. And you are desperately trying to get all of this down. And
I use every technique that I've been taught to remember the words. Because, I'm really good at repeating.
you are so worried at this point. Now he is leaving all of this up to you. You almost feel like you want to seek out a wise elder in another clan. And almost like venture out and travel with this elder.
It's not an almost. I do want to, but to do so with even my clan without a medicine man.
Yeah. So then it's like, how long can I seek out the elder before I have to return? But your mind is going a million miles a second, and actually, it's so obvious that Nisha comes up to you and just pats you on the shoulder, and you turn to her and she smiles and she says,
I know, thank you.
like she looks at you like, I understand. Everybody roll 20 one more time.
I say thank you and immediately.
17.
4.
9.
Okay. These aren't good rolls and they're not bad rolls. I'm looking for really bad dice. All right, so you guys actually get to the burial. There's this hill. You know, I said there's kind of like rolling hills. Well, there's a hill that's sort of higher than all the rest, but it's only like double the height, so maybe it's 40, 50 meters. And it's very wide. And on top of it, you see the platforms of the dead. And Gallup says, and here we are. And you just hear audible sighs from everybody, and Nisha kind of just... He says, no, everything's fine.
As we get close, I slow myself down and just try to get everybody down. It takes a little longer to get there.
Fate. And Gallup, he actually just starts talking, and he's like, I wonder what I will see. What lies beyond? What world will I end up in? And he's oblivious of this, and you actually sense that he's like slowing everything down, but for some reason nobody cares. I mean, everyone loves Gallup, and you just don't want him to go. But you eventually get to the top of the hill, and you see these platforms, and it's a little eerie because the platforms are higher than you dismount. The platforms are higher than you are tall. They're like 7-8 feet tall, and there's little ladders, and every once in a while you see a skeletal arm or leg poking off the platform, and there's some bones on the ground. And Gallup says, you know what to do.